Hello, everyone. Welcome into another edition of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita, and I'm joined by my co-host Nick Barr. How are we feeling, Nick?
Not great, man. Not great. But we're beat up. We're beat up, Tony, and that's just what it is. We'll
Yeah.
get into listen, we're gonna defend the squad a little bit. We gotta ride with our
Mhm.
boys. Kind of break down today's game. Look forward to this coming week. Again, just busy for the boys until the All-Star break. So a lot more to cover.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, we'll talk about today's game. Well, technically yesterday's game. This will be dropped on Tuesday. We'll be talking about that, the shellacking we kind of got from Memphis, and why you should not panic about what happened, kind of this last little slump, and why, honestly, I don't even think it's a slump. And now we'll get into that more. And then we'll kind of, like Nick said, we'll look ahead to the future, kind of break down maybe some more meaningful games coming up. Maybe, all-star voting is really coming to a head, kind of talk about all that. So, Nick, you want to
Sir.
kind of fill us in on today's or yesterday's game?
Yes. So listen, Bulls dropped their fourth straight. Obviously, you hate to hear that. That's not something probably we would expect. Now, again, tough stretch here. Today lost 106 to 119 to the Grizzlies. We just couldn't get into it. Tony, I wanted to talk about the line a little bit because here's my silly naive thinking that, oh wow, 8.5 points, that's a lot. That's just a lot of points to give for, listen, for the new look Bulls. That's just a lot of points. So clearly Vegas didn't believe in us, and shocker, it turns out Vegas is right, Tony. Memphis was the hottest team coming into this game. I mean, they're still probably the hottest team, I guess. We were on a 3-game slide coming into this game. Obviously now it's 4. But boy, was I wrong. I mean, 8.5 points felt like a lot. So I took them. I took the boys, and I was wrong. But again, they realized something that my dumb brain didn't, and it was like, I mean, Tony, you took a screenshot and sent it in our group chat of our lineup. I mean, it's brutal. We had some good sparks off the bench. I know you talk about Matt Tract, but again, when you're lacking size like we are, already not great rebounding, even when we're fully equipped, we're just a little undersized without Patrick Williams. And so Grizzlies are the last team you want to play when that's the case. They lead the league in offensive boards. They were just absolutely bullying us. Now I will say a little positive, our boy, Chicago's very own Io DeSumo, another really awesome game off the bench. Or did he
started today? Yeah,
no, he started today.
It was a crazy it was a crazy set of starters. It was Alfonso McKinney, DeMar DeRozan, Vooch, Kobe, and and Io.
Wow.
So
wow.
Yeah.
So again, despite the obvious struggles, Io continues to make his name for one of the most talked about rookies of this season, and should be. 15 points, 58% from the field shooting, 10 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals, and 2 blocks. So I mean, just filling up the stat sheet, looking like Lonzo out there or something. So that was huge. Tony, what are your thoughts on this game here?
Yeah. So first I'm going to touch on the gambling aspect that you mentioned. I saw that 8.5 too, and I was gonna take it. I just got like a little distracted right before tip off, and I missed it. I'm happy I did because it lost. But yeah, I've been looking at. I think we were favored opening line, favored against the Nets, then it moved to +1. We were favored against the Warriors even, and then they obviously blew us out. And the Celtics, I think we were favored again. That one I don't remember, but and finally the Vegas, that kind of that what is the trap door opened up and we kind of fell through, and now we're down to it was up to +8. And I mean, I think it's because the Bulls have won so much money. It's just, if you look at just in general, you look at statistics with gambling, a lot of teams end up 500. NFL is a little different. Like the Packers were like 11 and whatever against the spread, but it usually will kind of come back and forth just because, that's just kind of how sports are. Water always finds its level. So if you are betting the Bulls out there, like me, like Nick, let's just wait. Let's just wait a little. Wait till everyone comes back. Or it's like way too big of a line where screw it, we'll just jump on it.
Yeah.
That's my recommendation. So about the game, though, specifically today, there was a point, and anyone that watched a game, I think it was the second quarter, you know exactly probably what I'm talking about. There's two possessions where Steven Adams, I swear, got 5 offensive rebounds, and it was just, and they finished both possessions with a basket, and we just could not just, even box. We couldn't get a body on him. I don't know what, and Vooch was out there. Like, there was no excuse. They kind of, I won't say they out hustled us, because everyone was trying. It was just, they were just more physical, maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
It's Jaws, the real deal. That he had some pretty good highlight plays today. And then Matt Thomas, speaking of future all-stars, Matt Thomas, 3 for 4 from 3, looking pretty good. Steve Kerr, Kyle Korver-esque. Some are saying. Was this his breakout game with 13 points? Maybe. I think it was. And yeah, overall, Nick, you said it, and I know we're probably going to talk about it in a minute here. I love the bench. The bench is clear. It's good experience for the future. I think they are getting a lot of work in. This will be good. True. For the playoffs. It's like, wow, Io has to, for some reason, play, 25 minutes, 30 minutes in a playoff game. He's done it before in the regular season, but we need our star. We need our big starters back. We need Levine. We definitely need Lonzo. Lonzo for sure calms things down on the court. And we need Alex Caruso. We absolutely need him on defense. Him and Io are going to be awesome, though, defensively. I'm excited for that now that Io's played more and everything.
And Javonte Green, we're feeling that really hard right now, I think, because, and again, I think you're right. It's a combination of those three, because when you don't have Javonte, Caruso, or Lonzo, now take out any offensive factors, right? Like, and that's saying something, because they provide a lot there too. But so take that out, just that, and we're talking just defense, just active hands, forcing turnovers, or at least causing the other team to take tough shots. You got 3 of our guys that do that. All are out. So
just like disrupting their offense. Absolutely,
for sure. And so we're seeing that effect big time. And like you said, it kind of stretches more than just like from the stat sheet. It's more, also their energy, like you said, is contagious. You can tell when they're on the floor, they're team first guys. So that just builds everyone else up. Now a couple more points on today's game. We went from having 6 turnovers in the whole game versus Celtics, which we lost, unfortunately, but 6 turnovers in a whole game. That's pretty remarkable. To this game where we had 8 turnovers, midway through the first quarter. Like, that is unacceptable. No, we finished with 17 turnovers. That could be worse, I suppose. But, when you don't have Vooch scoring literally even a point in the first half, and DeRozan was only shooting okay, when you don't have Levine, your other scorer, I mean, we're not going to win. We're not going to win a game. Granted, at least not against this caliber team, so that's just,
the Grizzlies are absolutely hot for some, like, don't get me wrong, they have the players to be hot, and it's not extremely surprising, but at the same time, like, they're a force. I'm happy they're in the Western Conference technically.
Yeah, me too. I mean, hey, there's a good
they're west of us, but whatever, or east of us, my apologies.
They're east of us. Right? Yeah, I know, that's strange. I think
it's probably, if we're wrong, tell us in the comments, but if we're right, also tell us in the comments. So
yes. Yeah. So so really, I mean, to wrap it up, playing sloppy, Grizzlies were too, but when you can never make a run, and they had a stretch where they scored 16 in a row, I think. So when you can never actually get a run going, it felt like we weren't truly out of the game until the fourth. But when you're both playing like that, and they just get so many more rebounds and opportunities, I mean, what are you gonna do? So scary moment though when DeMar slipped and fell, dude. I was like, no, I mean, he's 32. It's just that'll put your heart in your throat, like, every time. Because that's just not fun to watch.
I agree. And if it was maybe a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, it maybe wouldn't have even been as scary or worrisome, like, in the moment. But it was the fact that it just feels like, and as Chicago sports fans, we know this, especially not just with the Bulls, but in general across all our teams. But it was kind of just like Oh boy, here we go. First Levine, or first Caruso, I guess would be, then Levine and Patrick Williams. If you want
Yeah.
to go all the way back, it's just
Right. Right.
like, yep, this is absolutely our luck right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
He's done for, that's his career. That's like,
Right.
that's the level I know I jumped to personally right away.
It's almost like you're
Yeah.
expecting it. You're expecting the worst.
Yep. It's that's saying just waiting for the other shoe to drop. That's what we are. That's
Yeah,
what we always are waiting for as Chicago sports fans. I know that the
for
Cubs,
sure.
obviously, for years and years and years until they finally broke through. So it's gonna take a guy like DeMar and Levine coming back and finally getting just that. I don't know. It doesn't even have to take a championship, I don't think, to get rid of that like waiting for the other
No.
shoe to drop thing. It's just like I said, we're on fire. We had a 10-game win streak. Yeah, we lost a game to the Mavs. Okay, and then just everyone gets hurt like that.
Right.
It doesn't happen to real like just like
Yeah.
that doesn't happen to everyone. I don't know, man. Maybe
Right.
it's because I
Well,
pay attention more, but it's crazy.
yeah. Well, yeah, and it could be just, our echo chamber, being, with our sports teams or whatever, but no, it does feel like that. But on the spin zone, Tony, again, that's why I don't want people to be concerned right now, because
Yes.
again, we just have had a tough roll of the dice. So like,
Yeah.
so for me, I remember I remember like talking like it's years ago, like back in Vietnam. So during this game, like an hour ago, I was thinking to myself, and I said this like so many times in my head, I realized, because I've been meditating lately, no big deal, but I'm very aware of my thoughts now, right? Just let the thoughts pass, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, I have to keep repeating, I'm like, we're playing without Javante, we're playing without Caruso, we're playing without Levine, playing without Lonzo, we're playing without DJJ. But that's like, that's a lot of people, man. That's a lot of people. I think I'm totally okay with doing that. It felt like I was panicking, but really that's what it is. So that's why we don't want people to panic.
Yeah. And it feels almost worse too with that. So like in a vacuum, if I love DJJ, don't get me wrong, and I'm about to say why it is so big that he's out, but in a vacuum, let's say he was on, I don't know, maybe the Lakers or something, and he was out. Maybe it's just because I don't watch as much Lakers basketball, but it wouldn't feel, other fans would probably be like, like me, I'd be like, so what, dude? Who cares? Like you have, Anthony Davis and LeBron. For us, because we are so small, and he is a guy that we really miss, and I think he was going to have a great game. I honestly think he was against the Brooklyn Nets. So that's what it really stinks. He got hurt so early, because he is, and when I say this, listen to my caveats. He has that Kevin Durant type body where he's like, he's not 7'5", but he's tall, he's long, and he's athletic. So he at least could disrupt a shot better than, no offense, Alfonso McKinney, closing out Kevin Durant,
right.
He's just
right,
swishing
right.
threes in his face every single time. And so that really
100%.
is big when we don't have bigs, so that one really, and I don't know. Yeah, it just sucks. Well, I guess we can,
when you don't have a big team to begin with, it's going to suck when you get injured.
Yeah. Patrick Williams, Javon. Yeah. We're just losing all these guys, but we do have the bench mob, that is trying to carry the load the best I can. DJJ being one of them. So hopefully he'll be back soon. But before we kind of get into going into the future, we'll talk about the current future. I don't know if that made any sense, but here's the transition.
Sure.
Early 2010s vibes are back. The bench mob returns in 2021 with guys like Alex Caruso, who will be back in the next few games here, if not the next game. Kobe White, who's been awesome. Javante Green coming back. Derrick Jones Jr., who will also, we'll see when he's coming back. And of course, the Chicago kid, Ayo Dosunmu. Head over to www.benchmob.com to get your bench mob shirt, wristbands, and more. Use code J20JY20 to get 20% off your order. Portion of all sales go to the Quiet Storm Foundation, CJ Watson's foundation. My apologies for that tough ad read, everyone. My computer has been just absolute. It's like just a little slow from when I move things. So I'm just, it's like using Windows 97.
So yeah, Tony's struggling over there. He had his computer screen stuck on like just a Google for, it looked like I thought it was like, felt like Y2K all over again. It was strange, man.
Yeah.
So I feel your pain over there.
Speaking of hopefully things getting better in the future, let's switch up the vibe a little here and look forward. Nick, you kind of want to break down where the Bulls are, I guess, big picture, kind of what we got going on in the future here.
Yeah, the East is crazy, man. Let me tell you. So we're still sitting atop. We're first place. So again, another reason not to panic. I know we've played less games, right? Because we had a few cancellations, but we're sitting at 27 and 14. The Heat are at 26. Go ahead.
Real quick comment on the playing less games thing. Honestly, I'm it's kind of cool right now. That works because we are in this weird spot where we just don't have any players. So hopefully I'd have to look at the schedule, but I think these rescheduled games are kind of later in the season. So hopefully we'll have these guys back. And that actually and especially because like all the rescheduled games were from when we would have had a ton of guys out with COVID, with all this stuff. So actually that could work out really well for us. It depends on what the games that were rescheduled or what it all kind of works out.
Right.
But yeah.
So I think we played. So the Pistons game we played like last week, I think, was a reschedule. The Warriors game too. No. That one just got moved to national broadcast, but wasn't originally, yes. I think. But anyways, regardless, so Bulls still sitting atop. We got the Nets lost today, so they're 27 and 16. Heat are 27 and 16. Cavs beat the Nets today, so they're 27 and 18.
Wow.
And Bucks also have 27 wins, 27 and 18. And they're playing the Atlanta Hawks as we speak right now on Monday, on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Now, Tony, again, this is why I don't think we need to panic. But again, I think we do need to be honest with ourselves, right? And I think Brooklyn with the big three. Now I know Kyrie's in limbo and he's only, well, whatever. He's missing. He's going to be missing some games. Now, but with the big three, Brooklyn and probably Milwaukee Bucks are, I would say I'm comfortable with saying that they're probably better than the Bulls at this point. You know, we're just so worried about guarding Giannis and KD. And I know everyone is. They're one of a kind players. But obviously, we can see what happens when we just don't have any size. Javonte Green, I think, has overperformed. I think that's a plus side. You know, we never thought this was going to happen again. If you think about the beginning of the year, but Tony, what's your current level of confidence right now? I'll put it that way with the Bulls.
I can't say 10 just because we have to see how everyone comes back. And the East is a little crowded, like you said right now. I'd probably put it at an 8, not necessarily to win the championship. That's not what I'm saying here, but just continue to perform well, to get back to where they were, I guess is what I should say. And to make the playoffs, make a little run. That's what I'll say. It's an 8. It's not, like I said, not a 10. There's always a possibility that we could have more injuries or maybe, just kind of some setbacks with those injuries. But the Bucks are good. I'm worried that the Bucks are going to get healthy and they are going to definitely just kind of smoke us at the end. To take over that 1 seed. Not worried about the Heat. Yeah, I guess that's kind of, and shout out us real quick, just from the start of the year, our pregame thing. The Atlanta Hawks suck. I think we were. Yeah. Sorry, guy, if you still listen to us, I appreciate the comments and the listening, but the Atlanta Hawks stink out loud. So
that's right. Because I think I left them out. I didn't mention them as like a contender.
Yeah, we apologized on the next show.
Yeah, we had to apologize.
The Hawks. No.
We rescind our apology now because they don't even don't even count as a team.
We were
now.
right. Exactly. We were right. Also real quick, just kind of shout out. I love the MLK Day, like the setup they did for the NBA. Should have, what is it, like just 10 straight games starting at 11:30.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's really cool. I think it's awesome. Just kind of taking over a day, especially when I know football is at 7, but there's no more bowl games for college football. College basketball is going. Watch that too, but it's not the heat of college basketball yet because there is still the NFL playoffs. People probably aren't watching hockey today. I'm actually watching the Blackhawks, but other people are not. So I think it was cool.
It's a little taste, like it's like you get a little bit of a Christmas hangover, right? You haven't seen a slate of games like this since Christmas, and then January kind of just sucks as a month. Tony, I'm gonna do a little bad news, good news for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do bad news first.
Okay.
That's not because I'm not about positive vibes. I just want to end with the good news.
Makes perfect sense to me. Yep.
So bad news first, and I just saw this during kind of at the end of the game. and I went and confirmed it with their schedule. The Bulls have no consecutive string of days off until after the All-Star break.
Dude, I saw that last when we were talking about that crazy like 4 and 5, like what was it, 4 games in 5 days we had last week. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I wanted to make but it's 10 and 15 or
It's
try to
gonna
find
be-
where it's 2 days. There was just no 2 days off. It just kept. I could have said through the All-Star break. Yeah, exactly. We have a game, which is good for fans. Don't get me wrong. I like the fact that there's games, but boy, does that they need a break, man. They just need a break. This team specifically, not other teams. They can keep playing.
Okay.
Yep.
So good news though.
So good
because that sucks, and especially after this 4 game, like that sucks because I know what you mean. You wanted to like look in the schedule and be like, well, this is where it's going to get better, and it just doesn't. So, good news though. Potentially, by this Wednesday, so the day after this comes out, we have a game versus the Cavs, who again we're tied with. I mean, they also are one of those teams in the East with 27 wins right now. They're a very good young team, and we know that. But we could have Caruso, Lonzo Ball, and Zach LaVine back by Wednesday. I don't believe Javonte Green's in the discussion. I think he's still got a little bit of time on that groin. That would be amazing. But if we can get Caruso, Ball, and LaVine back on against the Cavs, I'm ready to say like that game will have a significant impact on how we play until the break, because that'll set the tone. We get a couple of like we said, those big energy guys, they do so much that's not tangible. So that's a huge game Wednesday. So I'll be looking forward to that. We'll obviously be updating the page, about the injury statuses there, but hopefully everything is okay with Lonzo. And LaVine too. I think we're still kind of waiting on reports.
Yeah, they kind of gave us like it's not significant or anything.
Right,
Don't worry about it. But it's like, well, what happened then?
Right.
Exactly. Is it nothing? Is it truly nothing, or is it like it's like a little strain, a little sprain kind of nothing? Because that matters,
right.
Because that could be. There's a difference between lingering and just like we're just gonna take it easy, just make sure it's all good. Yeah. So
so that's that. Tony, before I pass it over to you to close her out, I just want to recap and say I think we shouldn't panic. We should feel good, especially if those 3 are coming back Wednesday, because I got a good feeling till the All-Star break, which I think is February 20th is All-Star game. So while it does seem like a lot of games in a short period of time, which it is, it's still just a month. I think if we get, some of our best players back, I mean, needless to say, I think we should get back to where we were playing before this 4-game slide, and see where we're at from at the break.
Yeah, definitely. I am. So like you said, with this Cavs game, we'll kind of see. So if everyone comes back, I'm definitely, if they play bad, I'm not going to be happy. I definitely won't be happy, but I'm kind of looking to see, okay, are they just missing shots? Like their shots will come. We know they will. So as long as that's kind of the case, as long as it's not like truly like sloppy and just like bad play, then I won't, I won't panic. I can see this Cavs game kind of, because the Cavs are good. The Cavs are a good team. We have to say it now. We cannot keep saying, oh, it's a fluke. They're 10-5, whatever. No, this is, we're about halfway into the season. They are good. And so they might run us, but that's okay. As long as we look like it's just to get your legs under you kind of game.
For sure.
I'm confident that they'll bring the noise against the Bucks.
Well, dude, and I'll say this, not to tell another man about how to, a grown man, how to do his job, but I'm telling you, dude, if Vooch isn't more aggressive on Wednesday, he will get, it's just going to knock his confidence even more, because Mobley will block every shot if you don't come up strong. If you come with that weak shit, he will knock that to the next stadium. And who's the Afro? Jared Allen?
Yes.
He will also swat that shit to the next dimension if you come up with that weak shit, man. I'm sick of it. I really am. And but I hate that I'm getting even emotional about it, because Vooch, you're a grown man, you're an all-star, you'll figure it out.
2 for 13 today, though.
2 for 13
yesterday, whatever you want to call it. Oh,
terrible.
Yeah. And especially when you gotta be the guy. You and DeMar have to be the guy when you have the guys when these guys are out. Like,
and he knows that. Yeah.
Whatever.
So play better.
Either way. Yeah, so I guess that that'll do it. Not panicking though. Just so we're all
No,
clear, we're on the same page. I will be betting the Bulls on Wednesday and just every
me
game.
too.
So not that you
Me
should.
too.
It's for entertainment purposes only, but boy, am I gonna bet them.
Correct.
The Hawks are going into overtime against the Seattle Kraken. So I lost my -1.5 puck line bet automatically. That's how hockey works. And with that, that'll do it for this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Tony Sapita. Thank you again to my co-host Nick Barr. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Until next time, Bulls fans, keep seeing red.